Han Wu had not slept in 36 hours. His hands were covered in grease and small cuts from working with sharp metal, but his eyes were bright with excitement. All around him the eternal horizon was changing. "This is impossible," Yuki said, watching Han Wu connect cables between two machines that had never been designed to work together. "These systems are from completely different species. They should not be compatible." "Everything is compatible if you understand what it really does," Han Wu said. He finished connecting the cables and stepped back. "Try it now." Yuki pressed a button. The two machines hummed to life and began working together perfectly. The shield generator from the extinct builders was now powered by the engine technology from the vanished Warthog. The result was a shield that was 3 times stronger than either species had ever achieved. "How did you know that would work?" she asked. "I did not know. I felt it." Han Wu moved to the next set of machines. Both species were trying to solve the same problem. They just used different methods. When you combine the methods, you get a better solution. Commander Veltar entered the workshop. "The alien fleets are 12 hours away. Are you ready?" "Almost," Han Wu said. "How many ships are coming?" 2,047, she said. "The hegemony has 800 ships. The collective has 700. The purist have 547. And we have 1 ship." "Yes, but it is a very special ship." Ghost's voice filled the workshop. "Han Wu, the communication systems are ready. Li Na has programmed translators for all known languages. Kang Su is preparing diplomatic messages. But I think you should know what we are really facing." "Tell me." "The hegemony fleet is led by Admiral Zixtar of the Onyx Coalition. He is Commander Veltar's former leader. He commanded fleets when humans were still learning to make fire." Commander Veltar's armor made angry clicking sounds. "Zixtar taught me to fight. But he also taught me to think that only the old ways are correct. I was wrong." "The collective fleet is controlled by the hive mind of Sector 7, Ghost continued. "They think as one consciousness. To them, human individualism is chaos that must be stopped." "And the purists?" Han Wu asked. "They are led by High Priest Morden of the Sacred Order. They believe that each species should only use their own technology. They see human adaptability as blasphemy against the natural order." Han Wu sat down on a box of spare parts. "They all have good reasons to hate what I am doing." "Yes," Ghost said. "And they all have the power to destroy us. But they do not understand what you are really doing," Brick said. The gas alien's form swirled with colors Han Wu had never seen before. "You are not just combining technologies. You are making them better for everyone." "What do you mean?" Yuki gestured to the modified machines around them. "Look at what you have created. The shield generator is stronger, but it also uses less power. The weapons are more accurate, but they have safety systems that prevent accidents. The engines are faster, but they produce less pollution. You make technology more human," Li Na said from the doorway. She had been listening to their conversation. "You add creativity and care to pure efficiency." "The alien leaders do not understand this yet," Kang Su said, joining them. "They think you are stealing their technologies to make weapons against them. Then I need to show them what I am really doing." Han Wu stood up and looked at his friends. For that is what they had become during these 2 days of working together. Friends who trusted each other. "Ghost, can the communication system reach all the alien fleets?" "Yes, but they probably will not listen to words. Then I will show them actions." Han Wu walked to the main control panel. "I want to modify the ship's external systems. Instead of hiding our technology, I want to broadcast it." "That sounds dangerous," Commander Veltar said. "It is. But hiding makes us look guilty. If we show them what we are really doing, maybe they will understand." For the next 6 hours, Han Wu worked faster than he had ever worked before. He connected the ship's communication systems to its manufacturing systems. He programmed the ship to demonstrate every technological improvement he had made. When the alien fleets arrived, they found something they did not expect. The eternal horizon was not trying to hide. It was not running away. It was floating in space with all its lights on, broadcasting on every communication frequency in the galaxy. "This is Han Wu, captain of the Eternal Horizon." His voice reached every ship in the 3 fleets. "I know you have come to take the ship from me. I know you think humans are dangerous. I want to show you something before we fight." The ship's external screens lit up. They showed the workshop where Han Wu had been working. They showed the modified machines. They showed how technologies from different species were working together. "I am not stealing your technologies," Han Wu continued. I am trying to help them reach their full potential. On the bridge of his flagship, Admiral Zixtar watched the broadcast with narrow eyes. This is a trick. He is trying to make us lower our guard. But on other ships, alien engineers were studying the technical details with growing amazement. The human was not just copying their designs. He was improving them in ways they had never thought possible. High Priest Morden, one of his advisors, said, "The human's modifications actually follow the sacred principles of efficiency and harmony. He is not corrupting the technologies, he is purifying them." In the collective fleet, the hive mind was having a heated internal debate. Some voices wanted to attack immediately. Others were fascinated by what they were seeing. The human shows no desire to dominate, some voices argued. His modifications make the technologies better for everyone, not just for humans. This could be how we achieve true unity, other voices responded. Not by forcing all minds to think alike, but by allowing different approaches to improve each other. On the eternal horizon, Han Wu was not finished. "I want to make you an offer," he broadcast. "Send one ship from each fleet. Let your engineers come aboard and see what I have done. Let them try to improve it further. If they can make it better, I will give them everything." The communication channels between the fleets buzzed with activity. The leaders were arguing with their advisors. The advisors were arguing with their engineers. The engineers were arguing with each other. "This is madness," Admiral Zixtar said. "We came here to destroy or capture the ship, not to have technical discussions." "With respect, Admiral," his chief engineer said, "this human has solved several problems that have puzzled our best minds for centuries. Perhaps we should learn from him before we destroy him." Similar conversations were happening on ships throughout the three fleets. The political leaders wanted to follow their original plans. But the engineers and scientists were curious. "He is offering to share his improvements with us," a collective engineer said. "No species has ever done that before." "It could be a trap," High Priest Morden said. "Or it could be an opportunity," his advisor replied. "If the human can really improve our sacred technologies without corrupting them, perhaps we have misjudged his species." 3 hours after the fleets arrived, something unprecedented happened. Instead of attacking, they sent ambassadors. 3 ships approached the eternal horizon. Commander Veltar met them at the docking bay. Her former teacher, Admiral Zixtar, was among them. "Veltar," he said, "you have chosen to serve a human. Have you forgotten your loyalty to your own species?" "I have not forgotten anything," she replied. "But I have learned something new. Loyalty does not mean refusing to change. It means serving the greater good." "And you think this human serves the greater good?" "I think he serves the future," she said. "Come and see for yourself." The alien engineers spent the next several hours examining Han Wu's work. They tested every modification. They studied every connection. They challenged every design choice, and slowly their skepticism turned to amazement. "This power coupling should not work," an engineer from the hegemony said. "But it is 30% more efficient than our standard design." "The safety protocols are fascinating," a collective engineer added. "They anticipate problems we never considered." "The harmonics are perfect," a purist engineer admitted reluctantly. "The modifications actually bring out the true nature of the original designs." Han Wu worked alongside them, answering their questions and asking his own. He showed them not just what he had done, but how he thought about the problems. "You do not just see what is," one engineer said. "You see what could be." "Every species does that," Han Wu replied. "Humans just do it a little differently." As the hours passed, something wonderful began to happen. The alien engineers started working together. A hegemony engineer would suggest an improvement to a collective design. A purist engineer would find a way to make a hegemony system more elegant. "This is what I wanted to show you," Han Wu said to the assembled engineers. "When we work together, we can create things that none of us could create alone." But outside the ship, the fleet commanders were growing impatient. They had come here to solve a problem with force. Instead, their engineers were having academic discussions. The real test was still to come. Han Wu woke up to the sound of alarms. Red lights flashed in his room and Ghost's voice filled the air. "Captain, please come to the bridge immediately. We have a problem." Han Wu ran through the hallways, still wearing his sleep clothes. On the bridge, he found Kang Su, Li Na, and the alien crew looking worried. "What is happening?" Han Wu asked. "We are receiving messages from many governments," Commander Veltar said. They all want to know who is now controlling the eternal horizon. Some of the messages sound friendly, Kang Su said. But some sound angry, and some sound scared. Li Na was working at a communication station. I am getting messages in 12 different languages. Most of them are asking you to surrender the ship. Surrender it, but it is mine now. They do not care, Brick said. His gas form swirled faster than usual, which meant he was nervous. They think the ship is too dangerous for any one person to control. Ghost's voice spoke again. Han Wu, there are things about Admiral Park Dong that you need to know. Come to the archive room. Bring the others. The archive room was deep inside the ship. It was filled with screens and computers that held information from across the galaxy. Ghost's voice led them to a special section that was locked with many security systems. For the past 50 years, Ghost began, the galaxy has been testing humanity. Testing us? What kind of test? Kang Su asked. Different alien governments have been watching how humans react to new situations. They sent traders to your worlds to see how you treat strangers. They started small conflicts to see how you handle problems. They gave you new technologies to see what you would do with them. Images appeared on the screens. Han Wu saw human settlements he had never heard of. He saw battles between human and alien ships. He saw humans working together with aliens to solve problems. Most of this was hidden from ordinary humans, Ghost continued. Only high-level military officers like Admiral Park Dong knew what was really happening. But why? Lena asked. Why test us? Because the galaxy follows rules, Ghost said. Old rules made by species that have been around for millions of years. One of the most important rules is called the Apex Doctrine. New images appeared. They showed maps of the galaxy divided into sections. Each section of the galaxy can only have one dominant species, Ghost explained. When a new species becomes too powerful, the others must decide what to do about it. They can accept the new species as equals, make them servants, or destroy them completely. Han Wu felt cold. And humanity is becoming too powerful? Yes, humans learn fast. You adapt to new situations quickly. You take technologies from different species and combine them in ways no one else thinks of. This makes the old species nervous. Commander Veltar stepped forward. Admiral Park Dong knew this day would come. That is why he built the Eternal Horizon. That is why he chose you. But I am just one person. How can I make a difference? Ghost showed them more images. These showed humans working with alien technology. In every picture, the humans were not just using the technology. They were improving it. This is humanity's greatest strength, Ghost said. Other species create amazing things, but they think their way is the only way. Humans see any technology and immediately think of ways to make it better. Yuki's forearms moved excitedly. Yes, in 5 minutes you fixed a control panel that our best engineers could not repair in months. Your species has something that no other species has, Brix added. You have intuition about how machines work. You can feel what they need. But some aliens see this as dangerous, Ghost continued. They have spent thousands of years perfecting their technologies. The idea that a young species like humanity could improve their work makes them angry. Li Na was studying the communication messages. 3 large groups of alien governments are forming alliances, she said. They are calling them the Hegemony, the Collective, and the Purists. What do they want? Han Wu asked. The Hegemony believes that only the oldest species should control advanced technology, Ghost explained. The Collective thinks that all species should share one mind to prevent chaos. The Purists believe that mixing technologies from different species is wrong. And they all think humans are the problem, Kang Su said. Yes. They think that if humans get too powerful, we will either conquer everyone else or create chaos by changing technologies too much. Han Wu sat down in the Admiral's chair. It was too big for him and he felt very small. What did Admiral Park Dong expect me to do about all this? He expected you to prove them wrong, Ghost said. The technologies on this ship come from dozens of different species. Some of those species are extinct now. Their knowledge only survives here. New images showed the machine room that Han Wu had visited the day before. If you can combine these technologies in new ways, you can show the galaxy that humans do not want to conquer or destroy. You want to build and improve. But how? I do not know anything about politics or war. You do not need to, Commander Veltar said. You know about machines. And sometimes the right machine can change everything. Suddenly, alarms began ringing again. Yuki ran to a control station. Long-range sensors show many ships approaching, she said. They will be here in 2 days. How many ships? Hanwoo asked. More than 1,000, Brick said. Ships from all 3 alliances. The bridge became very quiet. Hanwoo looked at the faces around him. Kang-soo looked worried but determined. Lena was already working on translation programs. The alien crew members looked ready for battle. They are coming to take the ship, Hanwoo asked. Or destroy it, Ghost said. The messages make it clear. They will not allow humans to control the eternal horizon. Then we should run away. No, Commander Veltar said firmly. The Admiral chose you for a reason. Running away will not solve the problem. It will only prove that humans are cowards. Hanwoo stood up and walked to the main screen. It showed the stars around them. Somewhere among those stars, alien fleets were racing toward them. In 2 days, he would have to face the most powerful forces in the galaxy. Ghost, show me everything Admiral Park Dong learned about alien technologies. That will take many hours. Then we better start now, Hanwoo said. If they want to test humanity, let us give them a test they will never forget. For the rest of the day, Hanwoo studied. He learned about weapons that could cut through space itself. He learned about shields that could bend light around a ship. He learned about engines that could fold distance like paper. But most importantly, he began to see how all these technologies could work together. The aliens who created them had been thinking small. They had been trying to make each technology perfect by itself. Hanwoo saw something different. He saw how combining them could create something greater than the sum of their parts. As the alien fleets got closer, Hanwoo began to work. He had 2 days to prepare for the biggest test of his life. 2 days to prove that humanity deserved a place among the stars. The journey to the eternal horizon took 3 days. Kang-soo's diplomatic ship was small but comfortable. Hanwoo spent most of the time looking out the window at the stars. He had never traveled this far from New Busan Station before. On the 3rd day, they picked up another passenger. Lee Na was a thin woman with kind eyes and a soft voice. She knew how to speak many alien languages. Why do we need a translator? Hanwoo asked. The eternal horizon has been empty for months, Kang-soo explained. But it might still have alien crew members. Lena can help us talk to them. I thought you said the ship was mine now. It is, but big ships need big crews. Admiral Park Dong worked with many different species. Some of them might still be on the ship. When they finally saw the eternal horizon, Hanwoo's mouth fell open. The hologram had not shown how truly massive it was. The ship was like a metal mountain floating in space. It had hundreds of docking bays, thousands of windows, and sections that looked like entire cities. How many people can live on that thing? Hanwoo whispered. About 2 million, Lee Na said, but most of it is empty now. As their small ship got closer, Hanwoo could see that the eternal horizon was dark. No lights were on. No ships were flying around it. It looked dead. Are you sure it still works? Hanwoo asked. We will find out soon, Kang-soo said. They docked at a small bay near the front of the ship. When Hanwoo stepped out of their ship, he felt cold air on his face. The docking bay was huge and empty. Their footsteps echoed in the darkness. Then something amazing happened. As soon as Hanwoo's feet touched the floor of the eternal horizon, lights began to turn on. First just a few, then more and more. The sound of machines starting up filled the air. What is happening? Lee Na asked. Before anyone could answer, a voice spoke from hidden speakers. It was the same voice from the Admiral's message. Welcome aboard, Hanwoo. I have been waiting for you. Hanwoo looked around. Admiral Park Dong? But you are dead, I am. This is just a computer program with my voice and some of my memories. You can call me Ghost. I am here to help you understand the ship. The ship turned on when I stepped inside. Why? The eternal horizon has been waiting for its new captain. It knew you were coming. They walked through empty hallways as Ghost explained the ship. The eternal horizon was not just big. It was also very advanced. It had weapons that could destroy planets. It had shields that could stop anything. It had engines that could travel faster than any other ship. But the most important thing, Ghost said, is that it learns. The ship studies every problem and finds new solutions. It gets smarter every day. They reached the main bridge. It was a huge room with screens and controls everywhere. Hanwoo had never seen so many buttons and lights in one place. I do not know how to fly a ship this big, he said. You do not need to know everything right away, Ghost said. The ship will help you learn. A door opened and 3 aliens walked onto the bridge. Hanwoo stepped back, but Kang-soo put a hand on his arm. These are friends, she said. The first alien was tall and thin with 4 arms. She moved like a dancer and spoke in a musical voice. "I am Yuki," she said. "I take care of the ship's engines." The second alien was stranger. He looked like a cloud of blue gas inside a glass suit. "I am Bricks," he said. His voice sounded like wind blowing through trees. "I helped the ship find its way through space." The third alien was the most impressive. She was tall and covered in black armor. Her eyes glowed red and she carried many weapons. "I am Commander Veltar," she said. Her voice was deep and strong. "I served Admiral Park Dong for 20 years. Now I serve you." Hanwoo looked at the 3 aliens. "You all stayed here after the Admiral died?" "We were waiting for you," Yuki said. "The Admiral told us you would come. But why? What is so special about me?" Commander Veltar stepped forward. "May I see your hands?" Hanwoo held out his hands. They were covered with small scars from years of working with tools and hot metal. "These are the hands of someone who understands machines," she said. "The Admiral could fight. He could lead, but he could not do what you can do." "What can I do?" "Watch," Yuki said. She led them to a broken control panel. "This has been broken for months. Our best engineers could not fix it." Hanwoo looked at the panel. It was made from technology he had never seen before. But as he studied it, he began to understand how it worked. He touched a few wires and moved some parts around. In 5 minutes, the panel was working again. The alien stared at him. "How did you do that?" Bricks asked. "I do not know. I just saw what was wrong and fixed it." "That is your gift," Ghost said. "You can understand any technology, even if you have never seen it before. You can make it work better than its creators ever imagined. But I am just a mechanic. You are much more than that." Commander Veltar said, "You are what the galaxy has been waiting for." Over the next few hours, Ghost showed them around the ship. The Eternal Horizon had everything a city would need. There were farms, schools, hospitals, and factories. There were parks with real trees and lakes with real fish. There were libraries full of knowledge from 100 different worlds. "How did Admiral Park Dong build all this?" Hanwoo asked. "He did not build it," Ghost said. "He collected it." Every section of the ship came from a different species. Some were gifts. Some were prizes from battles. Some came from planets that no longer exist. They stopped in a room full of strange machines. Some of them hummed with power. Others were dark and silent. "These are technologies from species that died out long ago," Ghost explained. "The Admiral saved them before they were lost forever." Hanwoo walked among the machines. He could feel their potential. Each one could be improved. Each one could be combined with others to create something new. Why did their species die out? He asked. "Different reasons," Ghost said. "Some destroyed themselves with wars. Some were destroyed by others. Some just gave up and stopped trying to grow. That will not happen to humans," Hanwoo said. "How can you be sure?" Hanwoo picked up a small device from one of the tables. It looked like it was made to cut through metal. But as he held it, he saw ways to make it better. He could combine it with human technology to make it stronger and more precise. "Because we never stop trying to make things better," he said. That night, Hanwoo slept in the Admiral's old room. It was huge and comfortable, but he felt small and alone. Through the window, he could see the stars. Somewhere out there, other species were living their lives. Some of them probably knew about the Eternal Horizon. Some of them might be afraid of it. He thought about his small workshop on New Busan Station. Everything there was simple and easy to understand. Here everything was complicated and important. But as he fell asleep, Hanwoo felt something he had never felt before. The ship seemed to be alive around him. He could hear it breathing. He could feel its heartbeat. And somehow he knew that it was glad he was there. The Eternal Horizon had found its captain. And Hanwoo had found his destiny. Hanwoo wiped the grease from his hands with an old cloth. Another day fixing broken ships was almost over. The small workshop on New Busan Station smelled like oil and hot metal. Pieces of different alien machines covered every table and shelf. Some parts glowed blue, others hummed softly, and a few made clicking sounds that Hanwoo had learned to understand over the years. The young mechanic looked at the cargo hauler he had just finished repairing. Its owner, a tall insect-like alien called Kix, would pick it up tomorrow. The ship's engine now ran better than when it was new. Hanwoo had added some modifications that would make it use less fuel and fly faster. He always did this. He could not help himself. When he saw a machine, he saw ways to make it better. "Hanwoo, you work too much," said Mira, the station's food vendor. She brought him a bowl of hot soup. When did you last sleep? Hanwoo smiled and took the soup. Machines do not sleep. Neither do I, Mira shook her head. She had been like an older sister to him since he arrived at the station 5 years ago. You are not a machine. You are human. Humans need rest. Before Hanwoo could answer, the station's communication system made a loud sound. Attention! Ship approaching Dock 7. Diplomatic vessel. All station workers prepare for official visit. Hanwoo and Mira looked at each other. Diplomatic visits were rare. The outer rim stations like New Busan did not get important visitors very often. Most people here were traders, miners, or people running away from something. An hour later, Hanwoo was still in his workshop when someone knocked on his door. He opened it to find a woman in a clean uniform. She was human, which was unusual. Most humans stayed in the inner systems where it was safer and more comfortable. Are you Hanwoo? The woman asked. Yes. Do you need something fixed? The woman smiled. My name is Kang-soo. I am a diplomat with the Galactic Trade Council. I need to speak with you about something important. Hanwoo led her into his workshop. Kang-soo looked around at all the alien machines and parts. Her eyes were wide with surprise. You work on all these different technologies? She asked. Yes. Metal is metal. Circuits are circuits. It does not matter which planet they come from. Kang-soo nodded slowly. That is exactly what I hoped you would say. She sat down on a clean box and looked at Hanwoo seriously. What I am about to tell you will sound crazy. Please listen to everything before you ask questions. Hanwoo sat down across from her. Okay. 3 days ago, Admiral Park Dong died. He was one of the most important military officers in human space. But here is the strange part. In his will, he left you something very valuable. I do not know any Admiral Park Dong, Hanwoo said. He knew you. He had been watching your work for years. Hanwoo, he left you his ship. Hanwoo laughed. A ship? What kind of ship? Kang-soo took a deep breath. The Eternal Horizon. It is the largest ship in the galaxy. It is 50 kilometers long. The workshop became very quiet. Hanwoo stared at Kang-soo. That is not possible. It is possible. And it is real. Kang-soo pulled out a small device and showed Hanwoo a hologram. The image showed a massive ship floating in space. It was bigger than some cities Hanwoo had seen. The ship looked like it was built from many different parts. Some sections were smooth and white, others were dark and covered with spikes. It looked like someone had taken pieces from 100 different ships and put them together. Why would he give this to me? I am just a mechanic. The Admiral left a message for you. Kang-soo pressed another button on her device. A man's voice filled the workshop. The voice was old but strong. To Hanwoo, the mechanic of New Busan Station. You do not know me, but I know you. For 5 years I have watched you work. You fix machines that other people say cannot be fixed. You make them better than they were before. You understand technology in a way that most people cannot. The galaxy needs someone like you. The Eternal Horizon is now yours. Use it well. The future depends on it, the message ended. Hanwoo sat in silence for a long time. I do not understand, he said finally. Neither do I, Kang-soo admitted. But the ship is legally yours. The paperwork is complete. All you have to do is say yes. What if I say no? Then the ship will be destroyed. The Admiral was very clear about that. No one else can have it. Hanwoo walked to his workbench and picked up a small tool. He had made it himself by combining parts from 3 different alien devices. It could fix almost any electronic problem. He looked at it and thought about the message. The Admiral said the future depends on it. What did he mean? I do not know, but I think we need to find out. Outside the workshop, Hanwoo could hear the normal sounds of the station. Aliens talking in their different languages. Ships landing and taking off. The hum of the air recycling systems. It was a simple life. A safe life. If I take the ship, what happens to my workshop? You can come back anytime you want. The ship has its own workshop. A much bigger one. Hanwoo thought about all the machines he had fixed. All the aliens who trusted him with their ships. All the problems he had solved with his hands and his brain. There is something else, Kang-soo said. After the Admiral's death was announced, several alien governments sent messages. They are very interested in the Eternal Horizon. Some of them seemed worried. A few seemed angry. Why? I do not know. But I think this ship is more important than just its size. Hanwoo put down his tool and looked at Kang-soo. When do we leave? You will come? The Admiral trusted me with something important. I should at least look at it. Kang-soo smiled. We can leave tomorrow morning. I have a small ship that can take us to the Eternal Horizons location. That night, Han Wu could not sleep. He walked around his workshop, touching the machines he had fixed. He thought about the Admiral's message. Why him? What made him special? He was just a mechanic who was good with his hands. He picked up his homemade tool again. Maybe that was the answer. He did not just fix things. He made them better. He combined different technologies in ways that their creators never thought of. Maybe that was what the galaxy needed. Maybe that was why the Admiral chose him. The moment of peace ended when Admiral Zixtar's voice echoed through the Eternal Horizons docking bay. Engineers, return to your ships immediately. We have indulged this curiosity long enough. The alien engineers looked confused. They had been working together for hours, making discoveries that excited them more than anything they had experienced in years. Admiral, the hegemony engineer said, the humans' work could benefit all our species. We should continue studying it. The humans' work could also destroy all our species, Zixtar replied coldly. That is why we are here. Han Wu stepped forward. His hands were still dirty from working, and he looked very small next to the imposing alien military leaders. Admiral Zixtar, I understand your concerns, but please let me prove that humans want to help, not harm. You will have your chance to prove yourself, the Admiral said. In battle. The alien engineers were escorted back to their ships. Within an hour, the three fleets had formed attack formations around the Eternal Horizon. On the bridge, Han Wu's small crew prepared for the impossible. Ghost had calculated their chances of survival. They were not good. 2,000 ships against one, Commander Veltar said, checking her weapons. I have faced worse odds. When? Brix asked. Never, she admitted. But there is always a first time. Li Na was monitoring communication channels. The fleet commanders are arguing with each other about who gets to attack first. Some of their own officers are questioning the orders. That is good, Kang Su said. Division in their ranks gives us advantages. The engineers we worked with are trying to convince their leaders to continue negotiations, Yuki reported from her station. But the military commanders are not listening. Han Wu sat in the captain's chair, which still felt too big for him. His hands were shaking, but his mind was clear. He had spent 2 days preparing for this moment. Ghost, are all the modifications ready? Yes, but remember, most of them are untested in real combat. They might not work as planned. They will work, Han Wu said with more confidence than he felt. They have to work. The first attack came from the purest fleet. 40 ships fired energy beams that could destroy mountains. The beams struck the Eternal Horizon's shields and disappeared. Impossible, High Priest Morden said from his command ship. Our holy weapons cannot be stopped by any shield. But Han Wu had not just strengthened the shields. He had combined 3 different shielding technologies and added something new: adaptive harmonics. The shield studied each attack and adjusted to neutralize it. The hegemony fleet attacked next. They used missiles that could track their targets through hyperspace. But the Eternal Horizon's point defense systems, upgraded with human pattern recognition software, predicted the missiles' paths and destroyed them before they could lock on. This is not possible, Admiral Zixtar growled. Our weapons are the most advanced in the galaxy. Maybe that is the problem, his chief engineer said quietly. We have been so focused on making our weapons perfect that we forgot they might need to evolve. The collective fleet tried a different approach. They coordinated all 700 ships to attack at exactly the same moment from all directions. It was a devastating assault that should have overwhelmed any defense. Instead, something beautiful happened. The Eternal Horizon did not just defend itself, it responded. But instead of firing weapons, it projected holographic images around the attacking ships. The images showed the technical specifications of every ship in the collective fleet, along with detailed suggestions for improvements. The human is not fighting back, a collective engineer said in amazement. He is trying to help us upgrade our ships in the middle of battle. The holographic displays showed how the collective's hive mind coordination could be improved with human chaos mathematics. They showed how their weapons could be more effective with less energy consumption. They showed how their ships could be faster, safer, and more efficient. This is insane, one of the collective voices said. He should be trying to destroy us. Maybe that is why he is winning, another voice replied. The 3 fleets regrouped and prepared for a final, overwhelming assault. Every ship would fire at once. The Eternal Horizon could not possibly survive. But Han Wu was not finished. "Na, open communication channels to every ship in all 3 fleets," he said. "Done. All fleet engineers, this is Han Wu. I know your commanders have ordered you to destroy my ship, but before you fire, I want to show you something." The Eternal Horizon's external screens lit up again, but this time they did not just show the ship's workshop. They showed a vision of the future. The screens displayed space stations where humans and aliens worked together. They showed ships that combined the best technologies from every species. They showed planets where different cultures shared knowledge and built amazing things together. "This is what I see when I look at the galaxy," Han Wu said. "Not enemies to be conquered, but partners to be embraced. Every species has something unique to offer. Humans do not want to replace anyone. We want to help everyone become their best selves." On ship after ship throughout the 3 fleets, engineers and scientists stared at the displays. They saw their own technologies being used not to dominate others, but to solve problems and create beauty. "Look at Section 7, a hegemony engineer whispered. "He has combined our mining technology with collective efficiency algorithms and purest harmonic principles. That mining station could extract resources without damaging the environment. The medical facilities in Section 12, a collective voice said. Human adaptability research combined with our hive mind coordination could eliminate genetic diseases across multiple species. The art galleries in Section 20, a purist engineer said with wonder. Technology and beauty working together in perfect harmony. But the military commanders were not swayed by visions and dreams. "All ships, prepare to fire," Admiral Zixtar commanded. "Sir," his chief engineer said, "perhaps we should reconsider." "The order stands. Fire." 2,000 ships charged their weapons. The Eternal Horizon hung in space, waiting. Then something unprecedented happened. Half the ships did not fire. Engineers throughout the 3 fleets refused their orders. They had seen what cooperation could accomplish. They had worked alongside Han Wu and felt the excitement of true innovation. They could not bring themselves to destroy something so full of potential. "This is mutiny," High Priest Morden said. "This is evolution," his chief engineer replied. The ships that did fire found their attacks neutralized by the Eternal Horizon's adaptive defenses. But more importantly, they found their own engineers broadcasting technical data to Han Wu's ship, offering improvements and suggestions even as they fought. "Admiral," Commander Veltar said to her former teacher, "can you not see what is happening? Your own people are choosing cooperation over conquest." Admiral Zixtar looked around his bridge. His officers were watching the alien engineers work with the human. Some looked confused. Others looked inspired. "This changes nothing," he said. "Humanity is still dangerous." "Yes," Veltar agreed. "We are dangerous to ignorance, dangerous to stagnation, dangerous to the idea that things cannot be improved." "Is that so bad?" The battle, if it could still be called that, continued for 6 more hours. But it was unlike any battle in galactic history. Ships that were supposed to be fighting were sharing technical data. Engineers who were supposed to be enemies were collaborating on solutions to problems that had plagued their species for generations. And at the center of it all was Han Wu, the human mechanic who had trembled when he first stepped aboard the galaxy's largest ship. "Ghost," he said during a quiet moment. "Is this what Admiral Park Dong expected?" "I think this is beyond what he expected," Ghost replied. "He hoped you would prove humanity's worth. You have done something greater. You have shown the galaxy what it could become." As the day ended, the 3 fleets found themselves in a very different formation. Instead of attack positions, they had arranged themselves in study groups. Engineers from different species were visiting each other's ships, sharing knowledge and working on joint projects. The fleet commanders were still arguing, but their voices were growing quieter. It was hard to maintain military discipline when your own engineers were having the time of their lives working with the supposed enemy. High Priest Mordoon, Han Wu broadcast to the purist leader. "Your engineers have shown me new ways to purify energy flow that I never imagined. Would you be willing to work together to develop them further?" "Admiral Zixtar," he continued, "your tactical systems combined with human unpredictability could create defensive strategies that would protect all our species from real threats. Collective command," he finished. "Your coordination abilities could help organize cooperative research projects across the entire galaxy." One by one, the fleet commanders found themselves listening. not because they had been defeated in battle, but because their own people were showing them possibilities they had never considered. The trial by fire had become something else entirely. It had become the first day of a new kind of galaxy. 3 months later, Han Wu stood in his workshop aboard the Eternal Horizon, but it was no longer just his workshop. Engineers from dozens of species worked alongside him, combining their knowledge to create wonders.